let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about algebra. We're going to be doing algebra in some serious detail. Hello, Desmarie. We're going to be talking about algebra. Now I've lost my words. Okay, we're going to be talking about it in serious detail, but I'm going to emphasize this. Before we even get started, grade 10s, there is no way on this planet Earth you're going to get good at algebra unless you practice. Like, there's no way around it. You need to teach your brain how to maneuver the mathematics, how to manipulate the mathematics to get what you need. So in order for you to do this, you need to be able to do, you need to be able to answer questions as much as you can, as many of them as you can. So pick up your textbook, pick a I don't know why all the birds in the neighborhood decided that now was the time to fly by. Okay. All right. So you're gonna pick any section in your textbook. Let's say, for instance, it's simplify. You're going to give yourself five minutes. See how many of them you can do in 5 minutes. Then go to the next section. Do it again. Give yourself 5 minutes until you can do about 10 questions, 12 questions in less than 5 minutes and get the correct answer. You don't exactly know how to do algebra just yet. So you need to be able to do all of these questions very, very simply. You shouldn't be able to be told what to do. You need to know exactly what to do. And the only way you're going to know exactly what to do is to make it a habit. So every single day, grade 10s, you need to give yourself at least, and that is least, I mean, you need to give yourself 20 minutes of just algebra. That's how you get better at algebra. There's just no way around it. You need to put in the work. You pick a section in your textbook and you go ahead and you do that. Hello, Asanda. Lovely to see you. All right, shall we get started? Yes, thumbs up. Are we ready? Let's jump into some algebra. Okay, we're going to do 5-minute drills. So we're not going to worry so much about finishing. We just want to see how many of these questions we can do in 5 minutes. Our first section says expand and simplify. So you've got exactly 5 minutes from now to see how many of these questions you can do, right? Starting now. So pen and paper, let's get going, grade 10s. Hello, Jaden. No worries. We are doing a 5-minute drill. You just got here in time. So let's get started on this drill. All right, guys, we've got a little less than a minute to go. So please make sure you're finishing up whatever question you're busy with. Actually, you can start another one. There's still some time. Okay. All right, peeps, that's time. Stop exactly where you are. You don't need to continue. We're just going to go through this very, very quickly. Let's see how quickly I can do it, actually. All right, so I'm going to try my best to get all the way to number 10, and I'm going to go as fast as I can. You're just checking your answers to see if you've done the maths properly. All right, so if we are working in 5 minutes, we've got 10 questions. That means you've got 30 seconds per question. That's a lot of time, especially when you look at number 1 and number 2. You should be able to finish all of these questions in about 3.5, 4 minutes. It shouldn't take us that long at all. All right, let's start with number 1. All right, if I expand and simplify, I should get 3x squared plus 9x. Number 2, I should get negative 9a to the power 4 plus 18a cubed minus 3a squared. Number 3, I should get x squared plus 2x plus 5x should give us plus 7x plus 10. Number 4 should give us x squared minus 2x minus 5x minus 7x plus 10. Okay, number 5, I should get x squared minus 2x plus 5x, so x squared plus 3x minus 10. Number 6, and I'm realizing these things are terribly numbered. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6. This should not be number 4. It should be number 6. All right, over here, I'm going to get x squared plus 2x minus 5x. So that's going to give us x squared minus 3x minus 10. Number 7 should give us 6x squared plus 9x minus 2x. That is plus 7x minus 3. That is number 7. Number 8. I should get 21m squared plus 28mn minus 6mn. That will give us plus 22mn minus 8n squared. Number 9, I'll do number 9 over here. Number 9, I know that I need to add if I see like bases being multiplied, okay, then I need to keep my base and add my exponents. So I should get 6x to the power of 8 plus 4x to the power of 4, y to the power of 2 minus 9x to the power of 4y squared minus 6y to the power of 4. And then I'm just going to add like terms. So this should give me 6x to the power of 8 minus 5x to the 4y squared minus 6y to the power of 4. That's number 9. Let's do number 10 really quickly. I should get 8x to the power of 8 minus 16x to the power of 4y cubed plus 6x to the power of 4 y to the power of 5 minus 12y to the power of 8. And I don't have any like terms there. And the reason I can't add like terms is because that one has to the power of 3 and that one has to the power of 5. And we cannot put those two together. All right. And that is the final answers that we're looking for this particular question. I'm going to just to point this out, I have done this as a teacher. I have done this in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, so for my time, you guys need to take your own time and 1.5 it. Okay, so if I finish this in 2 minutes, you guys should be able to finish this in 3.5 minutes. All right, okay, here comes another 5-minute drill. Here is another expand and simplify. You've got 5 minutes. Okay, I cannot give you 10 minutes. We are learning how to move quick and accurate. So let's go. These are only 8 questions, so let's go. Oh, Jaden, pay close attention to detail. All right. No, nobody gets an hour. Nobody gets 10 minutes. You've got 5 starting now. Let's go. Okay. So this is a lesson. So in this next one, Jaden, make sure that you're paying particular attention to exactly that. All right. Awesome. Right. We've got less than a minute to go, guys. How are we doing? Lerato, that sad face is scaring me a little bit, but we'll have a chat. All right, guys, let's finish up. Well done, Justin. All right, guys, that's time. Okay, stop exactly where you are. You should have been able to finish 8 questions. Okay, I'm going to time myself as we go. It's now 5:50. Let's see how long it takes me to finish these. All right, let's start with number 1. I should get x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x plus x squared plus 2x plus 3. If I add like terms, I'll get x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x squared plus 5x plus 3. All right, that's number 1. Let's go on to number 2. For number 2, I should get x squared, x cubed, my apologies. X cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus x squared plus 2x minus 3. And if I add like terms, I should get x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5x minus 3. That's what I should get there. All right, for number 3, I should get 6x cubed plus, I'm doing the wrong one. I'm doing number 5. Let's do number 3. Number 3, I should get 2x cubed minus 6x squared plus 2x plus 4x squared minus 12x plus 4. If I add like terms, I should get 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 10x plus 4. That should be the answer I get there. Let's look at number 4. I'm going to do number 4 over here quickly. Number 4, I should get 2x cubed minus 6x squared plus 2x minus 4x squared minus 4x squared plus 12x minus 4. And if I add like terms, I should get 2x cubed minus 10x squared plus 14x minus 4. All right. Okay, that's what we get for number 4. Number 5, I'll have to do it over here. Let me see if I can fit it in. Number 5, I should get 6x cubed plus 12x squared y minus 3xy squared. 3xy squared, and then we'll move on to the next one, minus 2x squared y minus 4xy squared minus 4xy squared plus y cubed. So if I add like terms here, I should get 6x cubed, 12x squared minus 2x squared will give us plus 10x squared y, xy squared and xy squared minus 7xy squared plus y cubed. All right. How are we doing so far? Are our answers looking good? Didimalo, not quite, and I'll explain why. Okay, and I'll show you exactly why. All right, let's do number 6 really quickly, and then number 7 and 8 are quite easy. So for number 6, I'm going to get 4a cubed minus 3a squared b plus ab squared plus 8a squared b minus 6ab squared plus 2b cubed. All right, so the answer we should get here, if we add like terms, 4a cubed plus 5a squared b, plus 5a squared b, plus 5a squared b minus 5ab squared, ab squared plus 2b squared, 2b cubed. All right, so if I look at number 7 and number 8, I'm going to notice very quickly that this is actually the sum and difference of 2 cubes. So if I do a FOIL here, I'm going to get 27x cubed plus 18xy squared, x squared y, 18x squared y, plus 12xy squared minus 18x squared y minus 12xy squared and then minus 8y cubed. What I'm going to notice is that 18 minus 18 will cancel, 12 minus 12 will cancel. So my final answer is just 27x cubed minus 8y cubed. Right, that's a difference of 2 squares. Right, number 8 is going to give us the exact same thing. So I already know that the things in the middle are going to cancel each other out. My final answer should be 27x cubed plus 8y cubed. All right, let me address your question. Didimalo. Didimalo says, ma'am, is it better for you to at least get the ones you're good at right in the time given? No. Okay. The idea of this particular drill is not for you to do what you're good at. It's for you to get used to doing the math and doing it correctly. I just want to show you something. If we look at the questions that we've just been doing, I'll leave it purple. Do you notice that over there, there's x plus 1, and over there plus 2x plus 3, and over here, there's x minus 1 minus 2x plus 3. Do you see how those two are exactly the same question? They've just moved around a negative and a positive. Zoom out or zoom in? Sorry, I'm not sure. All right, so the idea of this particular question is not for you to learn which question you're good at. The idea of this particular question is to get you to be better at the mental mathematics. Does that make sense, Didi Malo? We're not going for this for you to pick and choose which one you're good at. We're going through this exercise so that you get better at the mathematics itself. Okay, so you need to train your brain to do the thing quicker and quicker and get the right answer every time. Because the faster you are at this stuff, the more space you make in your brain, for the harder maths, like having to remember the domain, the range, what kind of graph, is it a hyperbola, is it a parabola? All that stuff should take up most of your bandwidth in your brain. This stuff should be second nature. Is ma'am making sense? Does that help a little bit? So we're doing this stuff not for you to pick and choose, but for you to get so good at this that it just becomes second nature and your brain can focus on other things. All right. Okay, for those of you who wanted me to zoom out, you're going to have to take notes a little bit later because we're doing the next 5-minute drill. All right. And I'm going to have to zoom in. So we'll come back at the end of the lesson and I will give you a chance to take down all of these answers. All right. So we're doing these last 5 questions. They are quite long. They're going to take you a while to get there. Okay, I'm erasing the answer. I'll put it back in once I'm done. All right. We are doing just these 5 questions. They're very long. You've got 5 minutes starting now. Yes, only for the first bracket. I do have space, lovely. All right, peeps, we've got a little less than 30 seconds to go. So let's wrap up and then we can have a look at the answers. All right, peeps, that's time. Let's have a look at these questions. Now, these get a little bit more techy. You'll see as we're going, the maths gets a little bit more technical. So you need to focus as you go. Luckily for you guys, I gave you a minute a question, which means you should have been able to get through it quite easily. Okay, let's start with number one. I know that I'm just going to distribute in here. Over here, I need to distribute that negative in. I can't just leave it there. It doesn't just belong to the 7x squared. It belongs to both of them. So for number one, I should get 6x squared minus 8xy. Oh, and my pen is starting up again. Minus 8xy minus 7x squared plus 2xy. Okay, so my final answer is negative x squared minus 6xy. That's number one. Number two, okay, the squared over here tells me I need to rewrite this bracket twice. I'm going to go the long way, but at some point I'm going to show you guys the shortcut because it makes it a lot easier for us to do these much faster and it creates a shortcut in your brain. Okay, minus, and then over here I'm going to FOIL already because it's going to make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to get 6y minus 9y squared plus 8 minus 6y. Okay. Then I'm going to get over here, I'm going to get 25y squared plus 5y, that will give us plus 10y plus 1 minus 6y plus 9y squared minus 8 plus 6y. All right, and then we'll add like terms. I know that the 6y, negative 6y plus 6y will cancel out. And then I've got 25y squared plus 9y squared. That will give us 34y squared. 34y squared plus 10y minus 7 plus 10y minus 7. All right, number three. All right, again, I'm going to have to do this twice. So I'm going to have to rewrite this fraction or this binomial twice and rewrite this binomial twice. I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the shortcut. Hello, Abu. No worries. Okay, so I'm going to do the shortcut. I know the shortcut tells me that I'm going to take this first thing and I'm going to square it. I'm going to take this last thing and I'm going to square it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two things, multiply them to each other and times that by 2. So 2x times y times 2. That is going to be my middle term. So over here, I should get 4x squared, and then that will give me 2xy, so plus 4xy, plus y squared. I'm done. Minus, I probably should have written this down here. Let's go down. Okay, let's go down over here. Otherwise, I'm going to bump into things. All right, so I had 4x squared plus 4xy plus y squared minus, and then in brackets, I'm going to do the exact same thing over there. Okay. I'm going to get 9x squared minus 6xy minus 12xy plus 4y squared. That's all I needed to do. Plus, and then we're going to FOIL that last part over there. This looks like dots to me. Does that not look like difference of two squares to you guys? Do we notice it? Yes, thumbs up. Are we able to see it? It's okay if you say, no, ma'am, I don't. It's fine. But you'll note that I've got an x minus 4y and I've got an x plus 4y. So if I know anything about dots, my two brackets in the middle or my two terms in the middle are going to cancel each other out. So I'm just going to square x and I'm going to square 4y and then I'm going to put a minus in between them. So my answer here should be x squared minus 16y squared. That's it. All right. And then all I have to do is distribute the minus here. So I'm going to get 4x squared plus 4xy plus y squared minus 9x squared plus 12xy minus 4y squared plus x squared minus 16y squared. And then we just need to go add like terms again. So I know I've got 4x squared minus 9x squared plus x squared. That'll give us negative 4x squared is equal to negative 4x squared. And then I've got 4xy plus 12xy, which will give me plus 16xy. And then I've got y squared minus 4y squared, that is negative 3, minus 16 is negative 19y squared. Okay, that's number 4. Oh, that's number 3, actually, not number 4. Number 3. Let's go on to number 4. For number 4, all I'm going to do is this part over here. That part I'm going to leave alone. So I'm just going to FOIL that part. So I'm going to get x to the 6 plus. But this is dots again. Do we notice? This is also dots. Yes, it's dots. So I'm not going to bother with the inside. What. I'm just going to square those two things and then put a minus in between them. So I'm going to get x to the power of 6 minus 9y to the power of 2. And then I just need to add. So over here, I'm going to get 2x to the 6 minus 9y squared. That's number 4. Nice and easy. Okay, let's look at number 5. Number 5 over here. Now, in these kinds of cases, what I normally like to do is I like to do the last 2 brackets together, and so that I can then multiply in that last one. But if I'm looking properly, this is also dots. That is also dots. So I'm not going to bother with that second one. I'm just going to put these 2 together. I'm going to get 9a squared. Ooh, and my computer's fighting me. 9a squared minus b squared. Minus b squared, and I'm going to multiply that by 2a plus 5b. All right, and then we just do a little FOIL. I'm going to get 18a cubed plus 45a squared b minus 2 minus 2ab squared minus 5b cubed. And I don't have a single like term, so that is indeed my final answer. How did we do? Okay. Did we do okay? Thumbs up. Are we all good? All right. So you'll see that a lot of the questions that we've just done are all kind of like the same thing, just kind of rebranded. They just changed a minus here, they put a plus there, they're making it difficult for you to have to now open 2 brackets. So they're basically teaching you how to create shortcuts in your brain and how to work very quickly to get to the right answer, because this mathematics shows up in every single other thing that we do. So the quicker we are at it, the quicker we are at the rest of the maths. Does that make sense? Okay. You need to start moving a lot faster at the algebra, because then everything else that you do will start to move faster. Oh, sorry, Sia. Sorry. I mean, I think they mean in other things, not mathematical shortcuts that have already been put in there for you. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's turn to factorization. I just want to get a sense. Can you guys give me a thumbs up? How many of us are comfortable with factorization? Thumbs up if you're okay. Thumbs down if you're like, nah, man. Okay. Justin's not feeling it. Okay. Sally's like, Okay. All right. So I want us to go through the questions quite, or the factorization techniques, kind of, but not really. Okay, we want to go through the factorization techniques, and remember, basically what you're doing is, how many of you guys play Fortnite? Anybody play Fortnite? Okay, Abu plays Fortnite, so does Jaden. Okay, so what we're basically doing is we're preparing our arsenal before we go in. Okay, good. Right. So what we want to do is we want to know exactly what we have in our arsenal before we end up on the field. You get what I mean? So when we do this, we're going to look at these 6 techniques, but I'm going to remind you guys that the number one rule is that we must always look for an HCF first. And I know that some of you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that. I want you to type it in the chat right now. Okay? Type it in the chat. What is the first thing we always look for when we factorize? Everybody, tell me in the chat. Thank you, Kulani. Good. We always look for an HCF. Let me show you why. There's been many moments, multiple moments, where we've given people questions like this: 4x squared minus 100. Okay, now if you look at it all its own, it looks like dots, does it not? It looks like dots. And so what most of us would do is we're going to open 2 brackets and we're going to go 2x minus 10 and 2x plus 10. This is so wrong because look, 2 and 10 still have a common factor, and 2 and 10 over here still have a common factor. So how am I going to get that common factor out when I've already factorized dots? We do not do that. The first thing we do is we check for an HCF. Now I know that my HCF over here will be 4. So I will take 4 out first and get x squared minus 25. And that is the dots that we're looking for. So what I should get is x minus 4 and x minus 5 and x plus 5. Thank you for the answer, Abu. All right. So it's very important that we always look for an HCF first. Okay, it's very important. Then we need to go to common bracket. Does everybody know what common bracket looks like? Yes, thumbs up. No, have we forgotten? I'll give you an easy example. All right, common bracket looks like this. A, open brackets, x plus y, plus b, open bracket, x plus y. Now, I have an HCF. I do. My HCF is x plus y. So what I'm actually taking out, my highest common factor is going to be the bracket. And that's why we call it the highest common, or the common bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take x plus y out as a common bracket. And what I have left is a plus b. All right. This also comes with a bit of a caveat, we call it. It's like an added little extra. Let's say, for instance, I give you a, open brackets, x minus y plus b. And in this bracket, I put y minus x. Now, I don't have a common bracket because this bracket over here has x minus y. And that bracket over there has y minus x. So in order for me to get them to look exactly the same so that I can take the bracket out, is I need to do a sign change. It's called a sign change. In my class, okay, with my kids, we call it a switcheroo. I think it sounds so much funkier, right? We call it a switcheroo. It's a sign change, but we call it a switcheroo. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to take x minus y, leave it exactly as it is. What you're going to do is you're going to change this plus b over here to minus b, and then you're going to swap the things inside the bracket around. So x minus y, like that. And then we'll take out our common bracket will be x minus y, and over here I'll have a minus b. All right. Okay, then grouping. Now, the reason why I've put these 3 right next to each other is because they're basically the same thing. All 3 of them are the same thing, just in different fonts. Okay, and I'll show you. Whenever we look for grouping, we always need to make sure we have 4 or more terms. Write that down. If you're taking notes, grouping, as soon as you see that they've given you 4 or more terms, you're going to look for groups. Let me show you. If I've got ax plus bx plus ay plus by, how many terms is that? How many terms am I looking at? There are 4 terms, right? Good. So I automatically know I need to group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the first 2 numbers, or the first 2 terms, and I'm going to group the last 2 terms. Then I'm going to do HCF in both of those. What is the common factor in the first two terms? It's x. Good. So I'm going to take x out as a common factor, and I will have a plus b left. And in the second two terms, I have y. Good. So I'm going to go plus y, and then I'm going to have a plus b. Look at that. Where have we gotten back to? From grouping, we've gone back to common bracket, right? And common bracket is just highest common factor, but with a bracket. So grouping is actually common bracket, which is actually HCF. So I've grouped them together. I've lumped them together at the beginning because all three of them is exactly the same thing. Exactly, Narisha. They're all the same thing. So now I can take out a plus b as my common bracket, and I will have x plus y left. Okay. Now, it doesn't always mean that this will work. Let me show you what I mean. Because if I factorize this that way, I also know that ax and ay also have something in common, and bx and by have something in common. So what I can do if I need to is I can rearrange my expression to put the things that have the same terms together, or that they have something in common together. So now I can write ax plus ay plus bx plus by. And then I group the first two. Now I can see that ax and ay have a in common. So I can take a out, x plus y will be left, plus, and in the second two, I'm going to take b out. Okay, b, and then I will have x plus y, and my common bracket will be x plus y. And then I'll have a plus b left. All right, so if you find that grouping the first two terms doesn't actually work, then switch the things around and see what else will have the same terms. Is ma'am making sense? Yes? Thumbs up. If I group the first two and they don't have anything in common, flip them around, move them around in your expression until you find what you're looking for that's the same. And that will really help. Okay. Excellent. All right, let's go to dots. Is everybody okay with dots? Yes, thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, Spoo says no. Okay, let's chat about it. All right, let's start with what dots stands for. What does dots stand for? Good, good. I want us to remember that. Dots stands for the difference of two squares. Okay, that's what dots actually stands for. So what we're actually looking at here is the explanation of what we're looking for in the name. What does difference in mathematics mean? Difference means? It means minus. Good. So I know that I need a minus somewhere in my expression. Now, 2 means that I should have exactly 2 terms, and squares tells me that both of them need to be perfect squares. Okay, both of them have to be perfect squares. All right, let's give you an example. If I give you x squared minus 9, let's make sure, no worries, I'm recording, Jaden, so it's not an issue at all. Okay, not an issue at all. I'm recording. If you need the last bit, you can just go watch it on our YouTube. All right. Okay, so I need to make sure that I've got all the things correct in order for this to be dots. I need a difference. So I need a minus in between. I need 2 terms. Absolutely. I've got 2 terms. And both of them need to be perfect squares. Now, I know x squared is definitely a perfect square. And 9 is a perfect square because 9 can be written as 3 squared. So this checks out. It's definitely dots. So how do I put my brackets out? When I do dots, I always open 2 brackets. I put a negative and a positive in each of them. And then I square root each of these numbers. So I'm going to square root x squared, and I'm going to square root 9. The square root of x squared is x. So I put x, and the square root of 9, 3, and 3. That's how we do it. All right. And that is dots. Now, I want you guys to please factorize this for me. Please factorize that for me using dots. Okay, Narisha's just like, no, what is this, ma'am? Abu gave us an answer. Everybody else? Okay, so let me guess. Everybody did this. X plus 4, X minus 4. Or X minus 4, X plus 4. Okay, and this is how we exactly lose at the game. From step 1. Well done, Narisha. Lollipop for you. Right. Because what did ma'am say? What are the conditions for dots? What do we need? What is step number 1? What do we need? A what? A difference. Look at this thing. Ah, I thought it was a minus for who? It's a plus. Can I actually factorize that using dots? Well done, Narisha. Well done, Narisha. I cannot factorize this thing. I can't even use dots. I don't have a highest common factor. There's nothing I can do with this question. So the answer, technically, is just x squared plus 16. Because I can't actually factorize this thing. I can't use dots. There's not a difference. And I need a difference. Okay, I did it on purpose, short stuff. Because these kinds of questions come up all the time to trick you, and you guys fall for it every single time. Okay. Every single time. So please make sure, guys, that we're watching that. All right. I want to talk about trinomials in a bit of detail. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a trinomial, and I'm going to give you guys some steps to take in order to factorize a trinomial effectively. Okay. Minus 7x plus 12. Just before we go there, before we start with this, thumbs up, how many of us are okay with trinomials? Thumbs down, how many of us are not? Okay, so some of us are not. All right, so first thing we need to do is we need to check if there's an HCF. Always, always check if there's an HCF, especially in grade 10. That's the first thing you do. You check if there's an HCF. All right, from there, we're going to notice we have 1, 2, 3 terms, and one of them is squared, one of them is x, and one of them is 12. There's no HCF, so I'm going to open 2 brackets. Okay. Now, in each of these brackets, I know that one of my brackets, without a doubt, is going to have a minus in it. One of these brackets will be minus. Okay, it will have to be in order for this minus 7 to come from somewhere. Okay, then what I'm going to ask myself is, a negative times what will give me a positive? A negative times a what will give me a positive? A negative times a negative. Good, times negative. So in my other bracket, I also put a negative. All right, then I'm going to take the square root of that number, x and x, or the factors of x, and then I'm going to find the factors of 12 that will give me 7. And that will be 3 and 4. All right, shall we try another one? Yes, I'll make it a nice and easy one. Okay, x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, I'm going to open 2 brackets. I know without a doubt that one of my brackets must have a plus. Plus. Now, you guys tell me. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes, Abu, yes, Narisha, lovely. Then I know that over there, Abu, factorize again. I know that plus times something will give us a plus. I will know that that thing needs to be a plus. Good, plus. Then I'll take the factors of x squared, x and x, and then I need the factors of 6 that are going to add up to 5. 6 plus 1 will give us 7, not 5. So I need 2 and 3. All right? Okay, let's try one more. X squared plus 7x minus 8. All right. So if I've got this, I know I'm going to open 2 brackets, right? One of them 100% will have a plus in it. Then I need to ask myself, a plus times what will give me a minus? A plus times a minus, right? A plus times a minus. So the other bracket must have a minus in it. Then I'll have x and x. And now I need factors of 8 that will give me 7. 4 and 2 will not work. So I must have positive 8 minus 1 to get back to positive 7. All right. Are we okay with this? Yes? Fortunate, I see your hand. What's up? Are we okay, Fortunate? Okay, lovely. All right, peeps. Okay, so that is dots. Not dots, trinomials, sorry. Okay, let's talk about the sum and difference of cubes. Okay, so I'm going to try and make this quick. So please write it down because we're running out of time and I really want us to get to the next activity. All right, so if I give you guys x cubed plus 8, first thing I'm going to note is that this is a trinomial, a cube, because both my numbers are cubes, right? X cubed is cubed, and I can rewrite 8 as 2 cubed. So both of these numbers are perfect cubes. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open small bracket, and I'm going to open big bracket. Okay, in the small bracket, I'm going to take the cube root of x cubed and the cube root of positive 8. So in here, I will get x plus 2. All right, now stick with me, guys, for the next part. Okay, what I'm first going to do is I'm going to take x and I'm going to square it and put the answer over here. So x squared will just give me x squared. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, I'll get x squared. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to square it and I'm going to put it over there. So 2 squared will give us positive 4. All right. Then my last move, I'm going to take x times 2. X times 2, which will give me 2x. So I'm going to take 2x and put it in here, but I'm going to invert the sign. So this is positive 2x. When I put it into the bracket, I'm going to put it in as negative 2x. Okay, thumbs up. Are we okay with the steps there? Yes. Okay, lovely. I'm going to do one more question with you guys. I just want to see if you guys are actually paying attention. Okay, so 4x. I'm trying to follow the thing that's going on here. 4x cubed minus, ooh, let me see. I can get there, 98. All right. Factorize that for me, please. Good. Is there no HCF? Is there no HCF? Or are we just saying there's no HCF because we're now used to saying there's no HCF? Not an HCF of 2. There's no HCF of x. That's it. That's the one. Or did I get the number wrong? Sorry, guys. I'm lying. Sorry, it's 108. My apologies. It's 108. Sorry, Abu. 108. So the HCF will be 4. Sorry, gift. Sorry. Okay. HCF is 4. So we first need to take 4 out. So 4. If I take 4 out, I get x cubed. And then what's left? Good. Where did the plus come from, Abu? Minus 27. Good, minus 27. All right, so I now know that I've got a difference of cubes. So I'm going to go 4. Don't forget the 4 must come with you. Open a small bracket, open a big bracket. All right. Oh, sorry, Narisha. Okay, take the cube root of x cubed, take the cube root of negative 27. So I'm going to get x minus 3. That's it. Good. Good, Abu. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take x and square it. So this becomes x squared. And then we're going to take negative 3 all squared will give us positive 9. It's not going to be negative 9. It's going to be negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9. And then in the middle, we're going to say x times negative 3 will give us negative 3x. When we put it into the bracket, it gets the opposite sign. So we should get plus 3x. Plus 3x. All right. Okay. Here is your next challenge. You've got 10 minutes to factorize as many as you can. Before we even start, what is our default setting? What is the first thing you need to look for? Good. That is where you always start. Only after you figure out that there is no HCF, then you start looking for something else. Okay. All right, take it away, guys. Narisha, you're burning time. You're wasting time writing such comments instead of working on factorizing. We should be focused on what's happening in front of us. Come on, guys. We'll discuss it in just a bit, Narisha. We will at the end of the lesson. For now, you've still got 4 minutes. You've still got 4 minutes. Keep going. All right, guys, I'm going to give you just a little bit over a minute, and then we're going to discuss the answers. All right. Okay, let me put you out of your misery. Okay. All right, let's start with the first one. Now, I'm looking at the first one, and I know that many of us looked at it and were like, hey, well, what do we do here? It's very factorizable, actually. I know that it's a trinomial. It's a trinomial, so I need to open 2 brackets. Okay. Then I know that one of the brackets will have a minus in it, and a minus times a plus will give me a minus. So the other one must have a plus in it. The factors of 2a squared are going to be 2a and, oh, sorry, a and 2a. My apologies, because it should be, no, I'm quite correct. Yeah, 2a and a. Now I need factors of 15 that will minus to give me 1, or to give me -1, but one of them needs to be multiplied by 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 here, and I'm going to put 2 here. Okay. And the reason I want to do this, oh, it's the other way around. Sorry. I should put 5 here, and I should put 3 here, not 2. 3 and 5. And the reason I want to do this is because when I multiply out, 2a times a will give me 2a squared. 2a times 3 will give me 6a. And I should have turned them, yeah, I should actually turn the signs. And then -5 times a will give me -5a. And that will take me to positive a, but I don't want positive a, I want -a. So I'm just going to switch these signs around. I'm going to make that +5, -3. If this is difficult, you should probably pick up a calculator. Do we all know how to use our calculators to find the answer we're looking for? Yes. Okay, if you don't, then you need a white calculator. You know that the new white Casio calculators, they're very, very helpful. All right, if I look at this next one over here, if I look at B, I can see that there's a highest common factor of 5. Okay, so 5. In here, I'm going to have a squared minus 4a plus 3 left. Okay, and that's going to give me 5, and I'm going to open 2 brackets. I know one of them will have a negative, and negative times a negative will give me a positive. And then the factors of a squared are a, and the factors of 3 are 3 and 1. That's the answer we're looking for there. All right, for C, I can tell that I have a highest common factor of x squared. So if I take x squared out, I'm going to have x. Oh, I'm lying. I'm going to have 1 minus x squared. I'm going to have 1 minus x squared left. 1 minus x squared is a difference of 2 squares. It doesn't look like it, but it is. X squared, open 2 brackets, put a minus, put a plus. The square root of 1 is 1 and 1, and the square root of x squared is x and x. Okay. I'll have to do D and stop here because the time actually is up. All right, this one is a difference of cubes. So I'm going to open a small bracket and a big bracket. Then I'm going to take the cube root of 8x cubed, and that'll be 2x, minus the cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, then I'm going to take 2x, square it, and put it in here. That'll give me 4x squared. I'm going to take negative 3, square it, and put it in there. That becomes plus 9. And then 2x times negative 3 will give me negative 6x. When I put it in here, it must give me positive 6x plus 6x. All right, and this is where we'll have to stop for today. All right, so the one thing I want us to have learned from today is that if we want to get better at algebra, we need to practice. Look at how many questions we've done. Look at how many questions we've done just today. There is no way around the amount of work you need to put into algebra, okay? Into algebra that's going to work out for you unless you actually pick up a pen and a pencil and a piece of paper and just get to work, grade 10s. There's no way around it. If you want to get better at algebra, you sit down and you do the algebra. You do the same question, the same types of questions again and again until it becomes like part of your right hand or part of your left hand if you're left-handed. You just need to do it. And there's just no way around it. The only way you're going to get better at factorization is by factorizing. The only way you're going to get better at simplifying is by actually simplifying. Okay. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is what I tell my kids. In my class, we don't say practice makes perfect. We don't. In my class, we say practice makes permanent. Okay. Because if you actually keep doing this and you do it well, it never goes away. It never does. Think about the first time you studied or you had to practice how to do your multiplication tables. They sucked. They sucked because you were sitting there in grade 2 going like, oh, I don't know what 6 times 12 is. I don't know what 8 times 7 is. Help me. And now that you know your multiplication tables, you don't have to think about multiplying anymore. You just do it. So it's permanently with you. You don't lose it. So the more you learn how to simplify, the better you are at it. And it just becomes ingrained in you. It becomes a permanent part of you. Okay. Yo, Narisha, then I need to speak to your primary